Hello everyone, this video is about the analysis of the PWM for the Vivo X200 Pro. And why are we doing this? I guess when you are here you know the pain, and if you don't know why you're here and what PWM is, this channel hopefully will never be relevant to you. But the issue is that more people are PWM sensitive than people know about. So this is the Vivo X200 series, and I have ordered the Vivo X200 Pro because I was curious and I was hoping that the display was working for me, because I have an old phone and I need a new one. But the how to find out which one works for you, or how is the PWM at all at the display, is, at least I think, pretty hard to find out, because there's not enough data online, and if there is data it's not really saying anything, or it's just a few screenshots or anything. So for me, I had the big problem of as I said, I want to have a new phone, and so I was ordering the Vivo X200 Pro, and I tried it out and it didn't work for me. That's a little spoiler here, but more on that later. But it didn't work for me, so unfortunately I have to return it, and I hope I get the full refund. But that is exactly the pain that I'm having, and I think a lot of you having the same pain. So you want a new phone, you don't know how is the PWM, how is it working for you, and there's just not enough data online to find out, or to have a good solid foundation on which you make your buying decision. So I was sick of it, and I decided I will buy all the stuff I need to measure the PWM. A little spoiler here, I have bought an oscilloscope and a photodiode and stuff, and I'm having a setup to check it. And of course that's what we're gonna do today. But a little more on the background, because as I said, I need a new phone. But the other thing is, I'm working on IT, and I was getting a new a notebook, a new laptop for programming, and I got a new Mac. So I was happy about getting a new Mac here, but when it arrived I could only use it for one day, until I decided this is not going to work for me. And so I went to my boss and said, I'm sorry, the new laptop does not work for me. And he was like, what the F? You got a new MacBook Pro for, I don't know how much, €1,000 it cost. And now after one day you say you can't work with it, so what's wrong with you? So I had to go and really defend myself on why it's not working, and that was when I found out about PWM. And PWM, I was at the eye doctor, and he didn't know anything. He was checking my eyes, and he couldn't help me. So after all that, all the odyssey, I decided I'm sensitive to PWM. This MacBook ain't gonna work for me. I got a new one at the end, so that's fine. But now I need a new phone, and that's why I decided I will create a channel to check out new phones and other gadgets and devices and everything that goes with emitting light, with LEDs, because you never know. And so today, let's get into the stuff we want to work with. So as I said, I have bought a oscilloscope, a handy one, and I prepared a little setup for us to check out the Vivo X200 Pro. And what I got here, just for you a little more information, I got this Hanmatech HO52. I don't know much about it, so I just ordered it based on reviews, and it does work fine. I've tested it already, and I got this little connection here with a plus and minus pole, and this is just simply a photodiode here, and we will point it at the display, and it does show us the frequencies. So as you can see, there's something going on already on the oscilloscope, and that is why that is because I have light. I tried to minimize the light here around, but of course I have a monitor in front of me which emits light, and it does not have PWM. So far so good, but let's get into the measurement now. So I have the Vivo X200 Pro, and I will give me a second to unpack it and start it up for you. Alright guys, so here's the phone, and let's get started. It is, as you can see, I hope you can see a little bit, so it's not that important because I'm gonna write down the data here, but I think it's more interesting for you if you see the data here a little bit compared. So let's get started. What we do first is to measure the display when it is on a white screen, and you can see it now because obviously it's too bright here on the display, but I will put it on 100% brightness, and let's get this photodiode on it to see what is going on. And as you can see, it changes, so it is working. If I point it away, if I point it somewhere, it does not measure the way it should be. It's taking the monitor's light, so let's put it on the display, and it is on full brightness. So I take a pause here on the oscilloscope because it already has the amplitudes and stuff, and let's take a break here, and so let's make a quick step here to get this in our data. So we have a frequency of 2164 kilohertz, which is a lot, and we have a min amplitude, a max amplitude of 440 millivolts, and a max of minimum of 1.2 volts. So let's take a look here on the oscilloscope, and let's measure this because we can measure what we get here, and what we want to measure first is the voltage, right? Differences, and what the oscilloscope said. And as you can see, the waves are not perfect. They vary a little bit. I hope you can see a little bit. Let me get you this view. Yeah. So as you can see, this one is lower than the other ones, and it's a rhythmic difference here. So let's measure B, and the difference is 1.24 volts, right? Makes sense since this is the difference, right? So let's measure time differences here. So we go on the highest point, and then we go on the next highest point, right? So we have the difference from one amplitude to the other, and from one peak to the other, I'm sorry, which is 400 microseconds. So that's actually not a lot. Just taking it here. So let's go on to going with the brightness to about 50%, right? Let's get this page again and start the measurement again. So it is on around 50%. It's actually not that much of a change. Let's go for it. We have max of 600 millivolts and a minus of minus 1.04 volts. So we have a difference of 1.64 volts, and we have a different time measurement. Let's have a look at this one. So it is a little bit different, and it is a little bit less. So I have 400. All right, so far so good. And let me save this one here as a image, so we can have a look at it on the monitor. And I want to go on 25% of brightness. Let's have this one on around 25. Alright, and let's do it again. As you can see, the waves are getting deeper. Let's get one. Right, okay. So what we have is a max of 1.102 volts, and the minimum is minus 2.08, which gives us a difference of 3.2 volts. And as you can see, we have significant increase of the differences. Let's have a look at the time that those waves are different. So guys, I hope my English is not that worse. I'm not native English speaker. I guess you already noticed that. And especially in the field of physics, I'm not very versed. So okay, we have 440. Yeah, so this seems to be pretty consistent. As you can see, we have a, let me drop this one down here. I hope you can see it. We have a difference of 1.24 volts and at 100 brightness, and the difference is a little bit increased, but not that much, maybe about 20%, 25%. And when we go to 25% of brightness, we have doubled the differences. The time differences are pretty similar. So this is, for me at least, it was very interesting to see those differences, because when you check out those websites, there is where those displays are tested as, most of the time there's one or two pictures of the waves of the oscilloscope and the display waves But that doesn't help because you use your phone at all kinds of scenarios, right? Lying in the bed in the dark, or you go on the full brightness when you're in the sun. So this one is interesting. As you can see, now we are on the lowest brightness. There's not more we can go down. So let's have a pause here, and I guess I have to add the frequency because there is an interesting difference. Let's add this one. So we have a range. Maybe I will have to work around this chart maybe. So this is my first video. I guess I have to improve in the future, but this is interesting. We have a frequency of 1000 and 1087 kilohertz, and when we check this out in the beginning, we had 2000. So yes, it halved. So what we have at minimum, at the maximum we have 1.480, and we have minus to 1.24 here. I will have to get used to changing the views for you guys, so you will notice what I'm typing. So we have a drop here and the difference in time. Let's measure this one, and I will take maybe this one because this one I think is interesting. So as you can see here, so we have these three peaks, and then we have the smaller peak and the long drop, right? And I can imagine that this kind of behavior really burns your eyes to death. So I will go for one peak to the other, because the lower peak, which we have right here, is probably, at least if I think of my eyes, I would assume they adjust to the same brightness, and this messed up behavior is probably gonna kill your eyes. So let's take this into our chart here, and I can fine-tune this later. You can always suggest what I am taking on here. But this looks, let me get the data, 1.8 milliseconds. So that's a lot of difference here. We have a, I'm not sure what this, I think it's a 1000 of these is millisecond. I have to rework this, but this is a lot of difference here, and you can see it on the display as well. So this is the lowest, and you will probably use the lowest when you are in a dark room, or at the evening in front of your TV, because checking this brightness out, and it works for me now, and even when I have the two monitors in front of me, it works. So you will probably use this one too a lot, right? So yeah, there you have it. That's the data we have, and I will take a screenshot of this guy and save it. So give me a second to get it on the monitor so I can have a closer look there. Alright, so I got it on the monitor now, so you guys can see it a little bit more detailed than on the webcam view. I hope this is cool for you, because on the webcam view, I guess it's you can see the measurement, and it's also validation that it's a true measurement. So yeah, as you can see, this I'm gonna explain a little, because this is the first video. We're gonna straighten this up in the future. I see we already have 20 minutes in this video. If you're still here, cool. In the next one we will, I guess, get a little faster. So as you can see directly that the differences are significantly, we go very much down here, and there's a difference of um, more of 2 volts, which is also indicated here. So we have, I'm not sure which one it takes here, but I guess it's the from peak to lowest, the range we have, and it's 2.7, while we have here 800 millis, or that's not even one. And we also see that while we have the differences here, this is a huge gap, right? So we don't have these gaps here, and we pretty much go straight down here and up. So we don't have this delay, while we have here a highest point, which it's not always the same, so waves are a little bit different. I guess that's partially because of my measurement is not that accurate, or maybe the display actually emits it like this. And then it goes down a little bit, so your eyes adapts or tries to adapt. I'm not guessing that the eye is adapting on every wave, so, but it is messing around with your eyes, as you can imagine. So it's pretty dark here. I guess it's yeah, so it's dark, and then it goes up and it goes down and up. So yeah, we have not sure if I will need to say more here. You can see the frequencies here. That's the difference in the voltage, and I'm also going to learn more in the future here what this means and what it indicates, because that brings us to the next step in the video, because the idea is not only to show you this, but also to collect data. So we have a basis on community-based data that is the foundation to what we choose, right? To which device or which monitor or which TV and whatsoever we choose, which works for us. And currently, I'm not sure. We have a few cool posts online where guys try to explain why one display messes with your eyes more than the other. But I didn't find anything that explains it really good. So my hope is that by seeing those differences in the waves, like we see here, and collecting data in the future, that we can say, okay, waves that mess around like this are horrible for your eyes. Waves that are like this are working like this, and frequencies of this cause this, and so on and so on. Because currently there's no data, there's no statistically data that collects the data, and that is my goal of this channel. So to collect data, right? To have a foundation for everyone to go to. Like, there's so many posts online. If you go to Reddit, so many people asking which phone is working, which one should I buy, and everyone is telling something different, because on the one side, of course, we are humans, everyone is different, but on the other side, we have no concurrent data collected. So what I want to do is, as you saw already, I want to give this here a foundation for data collection. And on the other side, my idea was to not only write it online on every area where on comments below devices and questions, but to really make it, or try to make it more statistically. So I created this form, this Google form, and I will post a link in the description for everyone to just, if you have experience with a phone, and of course there's not every phone on the list here, I try to add a few current phones or the last few years. So the idea is to, if you had a phone or use a phone and you have experienced anything while using it, you go to this form and check whatever was it for you. So as for this phone, I can say I have tested it one evening, maybe 4 hours, and it was fun to use. Actually, the phone, I liked the phone. It was fast and the camera is astonishing. But my eyes afterwards were like that, really, like they were dry eyes. I had burning eyes. I had eye strain. It felt really horrible. I also had a stiff neck. Not sure if anyone had this. I didn't have blurry vision, which I have experienced on other things like an e-reader from Amazon. Um, didn't have this issue here. I had headaches on the, as I told, the MacBook Pro. I didn't have this one here. So these are just the symptoms that I had, and I found other people had too, and found on the internet. So this list is not really complete. So if you have other symptoms while with PWM, just give me a message, and I will gladly add it here to this list so people can vote. So it's straightforward, the list. If you are having no issue, then of course you can uncheck all these and give this one a checkbox, and I will would love to see this one. I will add another checkbox here, which is recommend or not, because as I've told, I have my old Xiaomi phone, Xiaomi 9. I'm using it for 4, 5, 6 years now, and I'm okay with it. I notice the differences. I notice eye problems, but it is okay so far. And yeah, so I would recommend using it, and that's why I want to add the checkbox. So even if you have problems, and say, you can also say I would recommend it, because let's be honest, we don't have so much choices right now, because no effing company says we care for those people who are PWM sensitive. PWM, I'm sorry, this is yeah, that's a German language style. PWM, of course, nobody cares, so we don't have so much choices to go to. So, all right. So you know my own experience with the Vivo X200 Pro, and my result with it is I'm returning it, as I said already. I will definitely return it. I'm glad I can return it. I'm gladly returning it now. And my next one will be the Xiaomi 15, not the Ultra, not the Pro, just the 15. And I will try to get it. It is released in a few weeks, apparently, as it was announced. But I will have to wait. But you will gonna see a video about that, of course. And until then, I want to check the UL lights, because I got a UL light, and you know, the ones that I know, Philips UL light, right? Not sure which one, like a standard for. Anyways, so I got one, and I was curious if it uses PWM, and I will check this and release a video about it. And then I am currently having, I just got this small R36S gaming handheld. Actually, I didn't check if it has even an OLED display, or if it's just a simple display that doesn't use PWM. But I will go for another few checks in the future. I will try to get my hands on the newest phones and release videos like this. So we we now maybe can start to make a revolution to get a channel where you where you find out to have a database where you can decide which phone probably works for you, what are symptoms everybody has, and yeah, so this is my goal here for this channel, and of course to get attention, like if this really, I think the PWM is simply not relevant enough, and the people who have the issue are not like maybe at 1 or 2%. I've read about 5% of the popularity have the issue, but yeah, if we raise awareness, probably or hopefully companies like Samsung and Apple will make a move to get better with the issue. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching this long video. And of course, yeah, if you like this video, then and if you want to support this channel and the idea I have with this channel, then please give me a subscription and a like, and you know, all the stuff that is important to get attention, because of course the more people we get, the more people, the more attention there is by companies, hopefully. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you want to leave a comment about your experience and your ideas for this channel, which devices you want to have on the channel, which device you want to have checked by me, and I will try to get my hands on one of them, because as you know, I'm searching for one, and probably I'm gonna go through a few of these here. Definitely going for the Xiaomi 15, as I've already said. Alright, so guys, that's it. Let's make it a finish here and see you on the next one. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.